What is up, guys? So I'm here in the game room, hairy legs out the lot, sipping a Budweiser. I actually like Budweiser out of a bottle, but it tastes like shit out of a can. I don't know whether that's just a mental thing. So yes, we are in the game room, and the reason why I'm in the game room is because every so often I have a ridiculous idea which involves a few bits that I have lying around and a bit of butchery and things like that. And yes, so in here I have the mission speakers, left, right, front, back, all that shit, and I have that shitty Acoustic Solutions speaker at the front, and I have the Yamaha old school AV receiver, and I also have this subwoofer here, which is a passive subwoofer, so therefore it doesn't have an amp or anything. Basically the subwoofer output for this requires a powered subwoofer. Basically my dad gave me this subwoofer from his old kind of surround setup that he no longer uses. So yeah, basically this subwoofer had no amp, and I'm kind of thinking, what about that car audio amp? So yes, I had the ridiculous idea of slamming this Hyphonics Zeus amp. It's actually a 600 watt amp, and that's RMS. That's not like Kenwood 600 watts, which is actually like 100 watts or something. This will do 600 watts all day, probably at 4 ohms. I would have thought. It's actually running the sub down here, which is 8 ohms. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look into that and do the calculations of what this will actually be outputting at the minute. But yes, I basically now have a subwoofer in here that works, and I'm going to show you kind of how I achieve that. I'm actually going to put a light on. I'll put 2 lights on actually. Put these lights on and then I'll turn them off later on. Obviously we've got no sound, but we have some sound to play with. Some Richie Hawtin. The guy's a cock, but I do like a bit of techno, so hey. Right, so how did I achieve this? Well, you may have seen the video where I went in my mum and dad's loft and cleared their loft out, and I got my dad's old PC. So this is actually the power supply from his old PC, and what I've done here is this would be your motherboard connector. So the power on pins, which are something like pins 16 and 17 on the diagram, I basically, if you can see, chop them off there. So there, it is kind of hard to see actually. We'll pull this out, it's just come out a bit. Ooh, there we go. Right, so you can see, or you can't see, where the fuck is it? That's gone down here. It's gone down here, round the back. Right, so yes, here is the motherboard connector. So basically I've taken the 2 wires that would usually go into there, chopped them off obviously, and I have this switch here, which basically is kind of, you know, when you turn your computer on, this is the same kind of configuration. But I put this kind of toggle switch on from another power supply which had a blown capacitor. You can see it was like, so originally I was going to use the other power supply, but then it didn't work. So yes, and then I flick that on and you will see that lights up and it is powered up. Right, so basically what I did was, over here we have kind of basically a Molex connector, but it's all kind of, it's wrapped in gaffer tape. It should be an electrical insulation tape really, but I didn't have any. But yes, basically the Molex has been spliced into positive and negative, and then soldered to those kind of ring connector things that you have for like battery terminals and that were on the end of the car audio leads. So I soldered them on and then gaffer tape round them, and then obviously these go up to the amp. You got your power. Now in a car, if you don't know, the head unit sends a signal to the amp via a remote wire. So what I basically had to do was, this is your 12 volt in, and that goes, I have a wire here that goes from the 12 volt in to the line, the remote in. Oh god, this is a lot. Struggling to get my words out. I think I'm talking too fast. So yeah, basically what that means is that it actually fucking powers on because it thinks that a head unit is connected. So I could turn it off and then I can turn it on. See, like that. Obviously there's no sound coming out at the minute because I have the volume turned down. So what I will do actually is I'll turn this off. There we go. And I have the remote in my pocket. No, that's my phone case, the other pocket. And I will turn this up, and you'll hear some techno from Richie Horton. So this is pretty kind of a pointless exercise because obviously you're not going to get the sound quality through your own speakers, but I just wanted to show that when I come over here and power this up, there will be a couple of seconds delay, but there you go, sub kicks in. I don't know whether that will, you know, kind of come through on your end watching this on YouTube, but sub works. We can get that arse rattling volume there. One thing that is kind of disappointing is this is actually a remote control that you'd put in your car, kind of like underneath your dashboard or something, which can, you know, is an easy way of controlling the volume of the bass. Unfortunately, when I plug an Ethernet cable into there, because I don't have the original cable, and then into there, it just goes into protect mode. So I don't know what kind of, you know, it is an Ethernet connector that's on both of these, but I don't know whether it was some sort of different configuration, pardon me, for the remote lead. So that kind of doesn't work. So the next thing I wanted to do was have a look at this in the dark. So I'll just turn off all the lights and close the curtains. So here we are in the dark, and I'm going to go over here and power the amp up. I don't know whether I explained this kind of before. If I can find the switch, there we go. Oh, I just need to flick it off and then back on, is it? There we go. Yeah, I don't know whether I explained this before, but the reason why I've actually mounted it on the wall is because of the fact that it glows blue. So I thought it would be kind of a little interesting centerpiece for the room. And what I can also actually do is turn off the TV. Obviously I wouldn't ever really be using this without the TV, but it does look better in real life than it does on the video. It looks fucking shit on the video. Yes, there you go. I installed a car amp for a home theatre subwoofer into the games room. Obviously it probably doesn't sound as good as actually going out and buying a specific home cinema subwoofer, but it cost me fuck all to do it, so thumbs up. If anyone's interested, this amp cost me like 180 quid. It was many years ago though, and it's been fitted into quite a few different cars. It's a Hyphonic Zeus. What's the model number? You can't really see on the videos. A ZXI 6006, and yeah, I'm pretty happy. Thought it was an interesting project. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.